Hello everyone, here we're back with another video in which we'll be talking about e-salon booking using a FIFO queues for efficient customer management. Now in today digital age, now e-salon bookings, now everything is online, right? When it's online, you don't need to stand in the queues for so long. It's just like that, we have salon bookings. Now you don't need to stand for so long in the queues and wait for your appointment. You just book it online, and then when it's time for your appointment, you can go there. That is basically a saloon booking. So for that, we'll be understanding it how saloon book, like how it works by using queues. So now the challenge it is the challenge in building such a system is efficiently managing customer appointments. Now the basic requirements, the one thing which should take care of that, the customers are served in the order they book the slots. So now, like if I have booked at 10 a.m. and somebody has booked at 10:05, so I'll be served first because I have booked my appointment first. So to take care of that, so this is where our queue data structure is a perfect solution. Now we have understanding the queue data structure. Now what is a queue? So it is a linear data structure that follows a first in, first out principle. So it follows a principle that is first in, first out. Now what is first in, first out principle? This is like the person, like just imagine you are going for booking the tickets for a movie. So for that, you have like the first person which goes in will be the first one to get the tickets. Like for example, someone is standing in front of me, so that person will get the ticket like more earlier than me. So this method ensure that the first customer to book is the first to be served. Like if I have booked at 10 a.m., I'll be served before someone who has booked at 10:05. So that is the basic thing you need to learn. After that, we have now what is the benefits of the FIFO queues? Like we are using for e-salon booking. Now what are the benefits of that? It is like firstly, the utilizing FIFO queues offers more numerous benefits like customer satisfaction, reduce appointment conflicts. Like it's like if we are using a FIFO queue there, then you don't have to go there and say that my booking was at 10 and his booking was at 10:05. Why is earlier than me? Your your appointments will be arranged in a way like if you have booked first, you will be served first. Okay, so so it will reduce the appointment conflicts, and it will improve the source allocations. And now by systematically managing bookings, e-salons can ensure a smoother operation and a better experience for the clients. Then implementing FIFO system. Now to successfully implement uh, FIFO system. Now, e-saloon should invest in booking software that supports queue management. So now queue is basically a data structure that will help them manage the customers and manage the bookings efficiently. Now, for that, if the e-salons should invest in the booking software that supports the queue management. Now, like for the conclusion we have, so now in this video, we'll be learning more about the queues and how we can implement the queue in a salon booking, like how a queue can help in booking appointments for the salon. So now we go to the code playing the queue to see, like we have made a queue. To see the queue, we'll be using display for displaying the queue will be going for define DSPLAY display cell. They all are just similar. Like you just have to take care while you are in queuing, you'll be appending, and for the dequeuing method, you will be removing the element by using pop. Rest of it is easy will be printing define. We have defined the display, and then in the display will be printing Q is self dot q, which we have made that. So it will be printing this one, and after that we have will be checking if the queue is empty or not. So to check it is equal to 0, then it means that it is empty. That's it. After that we have another one that is defining peak. That means like you are looking something from the front. Like so if the when you are peeking, that means you are seeing the first person standing in the queue. So to peak, we'll be writing defining the function and then we'll have here if len self dot q. Here again we'll be writing this thing that if the queue is empty, there's nothing to peek. Otherwise, it will return self dot q and this is 0. That means the first element whose index is 0. We have given the index, that means the index 0. It will give the value which is on index 0. So we have this. So now this is our queue. We have made the class queue. So okay, firstly I'll be giving you an example to understand it better. We are taking an example. I'll be defining it as queue so that I don't need to write again queue and again. So we'll be using queue, and now I'll start appending queue. I've added these elements in this. Now I want my queue to be displayed. I'll be using the display function. So for that, it will give DQ. So because we have not given any print function in the DQ, so we have to print it here. In the Q function, we have given print in Q item. So for the DQ, we have to give that. If you want to write, just leave it, or just write DQ'd item. DQ'd item, that is Q dot DQ function will be writing. So now it will DQ, it will pop the first the topmost element. The more like if you want to remove the second element, then so it will remove the first element in the line. It will remove the first element, and then again you apply this function, again it will remove. It will keep on removing until you keep on printing that the same. So now again we'll be using display to this. We'll be using display. Yeah, so here we have, yeah, so it's like it is queued, and then we have this queue, and then it is showing the DQ, the element first one. Now see, the first element which came was 10, and the first element which was DQ'd is also 10. That means first in and first out principle. So now we have queue of 20 and 30. So this was an example, and now we'll be moving on the e-saloon booking. We will be making it. Into the implementation part, firstly we'll understand the queue and the basic operations of the queue. So firstly we'll be creating a class queue. We are creating a class will be creating a class queue so that we can, whenever we want to use those function, we can just call the like we can just call the class, and we'll get all the function like in queue, dq and all that. So while we go for the when we'll be doing code for the e-saloon, we'll be using this class only, like which we have made here. So firstly we'll be defining init function. So init is basically used for initializing the function b, and these are the attributes we read there. We have here self dot queue. So we are making a queue. We have made a queue in it. So after that we'll be doing some operation. Like firstly we'll be going for in queue, in queuing element, or we can say that adding an element. So for that we'll be defining define in queue, basic queue implementation we are doing. And then we are doing the in queue operations. We want to add, like we want to append an item in the queue. So firstly we'll be writing self dot queue. That means the queue which we have made here, where we are using that queue, self dot queue dot append. Now this queue is empty. We have made an empty queue. Now we are adding more queues in it. Now this is where we have initialized the class, and we have made an empty queue, and now we are adding the elements in it. So for that we'll be using append function. Append, so what we'll be adding is the item, the Item we are writing here, that means like whenever we'll be adding something in the brackets, we'll be writing 10. So it will keep on appending value by using the NQ operation. After that, we have here print F-E-N-Q-E-T, like I'm just writing so that it'll be printed as it is. Now in Q, I'll be writing item. So now it will keep on adding the element and then it will keep on printing. Okay, this element is included, this element is included. You can skip this if you want. I'm just writing it so that I'll have a clarity like how many elements and which elements I've added. Or you can skip it and you can just go on the display and display the elements directly. Now we have like now we have added the elements in the queue. So now for deleting we have similar operation, that is dq. Now dq operation will be defining dq self. Now we'll be defining dq. So in that we'll be writing, firstly we have to, while deleting the element, firstly we have to check if there is an element in the queue or not, because if there's no element in the queue, that means you have nothing to delete, so it will show error. So it won't show error, so we'll be defining that if queue is empty, that means the length of the queue. What is the queue? We have self dot queue. We have that's less than one, that means basically zero. We'll be writing this and it will return q is empty. So it will return us that the queue is empty. Else, or we are not need to write, we just write return self dot queue dot pop. We'll be using the pop function. Be doing the saloon booking with that. So now from queue, like the queue file, the queue name file which we have made already. From queue, import the class which we have made. In this we made the queue, so we'll be importing that. So firstly, here we have to make a class E saloon booking. We have firstly saloon, yeah, E-saloon booking, a class which we have made here. Yeah, and now we have, firstly will be same choose whether you are making any class. Firstly you have to define, so we'll be defining using in it, like you have to initialize using init self, and then we have a self dot queue. Here we'll be making the queue, but earlier we have made a queue like empty queue. So in this we'll be using queue class which we have already made. That means wherever we'll write self.queue, it will be wherever we write self.queue, it will call this class queue, and all the methods we have in queue, dq, and display, all the method will be called. So you don't have to rewrite every method. You don't have to define again and again the enqueue and dq. And after that, we'll be moving. So now in that way, for firstly, we'll go for booking the appointments. Firstly, we'll go for booking the appointments. We'll be defining book appointments. Appointment book for this customer and the name of the customer. Now, this is how you can easily add to start the booking. It is serve customers. We'll be defining this. That means basically we are calling the next customer over here. So in that, now if all the customer have already served, now you have not any customer left. Firstly we have to check if your queue is empty or not. Customer is equal to self dot queue Self.q, that means we are calling, sorry, wait a minute. SELF, self.q, self.q dot is empty function we are calling. We are, sorry, not is empty. Sorry, here we are dequeuing. So will be dequeuing. We'll be using the dequeue function. That's it. That will dequeue the first person. You don't need to mention it here because it will automatically delete. It is first in first out. So, and this will be printing serving you serving customer. Sorry, I will applied the wrong brackets here. Yeah, the customer which we have given. That means the customer is already DQ. Serving customer this appointment. And then it goes. Wait a minute. Yep, now it's done. And then after that, and go to the next customer. So after that, we'll have the peak operation. To peak operation to view the first customer in the queue. To see the name which customer is first in the queue, will be using a peak operation. So we'll write view the customer first in the queue. The first in the queue. So we'll be writing peak, or we can write next. Now we have in this, firstly we have added the appointments, and after that we have deleted. Okay, now if I have like I have taken an appointment and I'm served, my work is done. So after that they will delete my name from the list, and then they will look what is the next customer. So that is where we use the peak function. So we'll be defining this next customer, that is will have self customer. So now if again that the same thing, if it is empty, self dot q dot is empty, empty, that means there is, wait a minute, if self dot q is empty, then it will print no customer in the queue. And so no customer in the queue, else it will go to customer, that means self dot q. It will directly print the name of the customer, right? So we'll go for the print f next customer. We'll go for the next customer, self dot q dot peak. We'll write the peak function here. So we'll, oh wait a minute, I have again added the wrong brackets. We have to add the curly brackets for this customer. And now we viewed the next customer have again became the first one. Now again the same operations, that the person appointment is there, that it is served, and that this name is deleted, and then go to the next customer. So this was the whole code. Now we'll again go to an example. So we'll run this code. So now see, wait a minute. Yeah, now we'll be running the code. Yeah, so this is the code. So firstly, we have include Rashmi. That means the name, the Rashmi is the appointment book for the Rashmi. It is came printed. Then include Isha appointment book for Isha, appointment book for Ashu and Arpita, and then we go like this. So now all the appointments are booked. Then the next customer is Rashmi. That means I'm the first customer. It will show me that okay, this is the customer, this is the next customer. Now serving Rashmi appointment and then the serving Isha appointment, the both are served, and the next customer is Ashu. So it will keep on adding like this. So this is how a queue can help in e-salon booking. I hope you understand. Thank you so much.